So it's been a long time since I did a video to this YouTube channel. It's been about 4 months. I'm out here with Gracie Girl, running, hiking, walking, enjoying the beautiful fall day. It's the end of October and we are at the Sandy River Delta in Oregon, on the Oregon-Washington border along the Columbia River. The Lewis and Clark Corps of Discovery went right through this area. They called it the Quicksand River because there was so much sand in the river, you'd step out into it, you'd get sucked down into the actual sand. Little did they know that there had been volcanic activity on Mount Hood, and all the sand and volcanic activity was washing down the river. There's no volcanic activity now. But the reason for this video is I want to talk about why I haven't posted anything in the last 4 months. And the reason being is about 4 months ago, I had a near-death experience. I had an ischemic stroke, which is basically a blood clot had got into my brain and had blocked my brain, blocked the blood flow of my brain, which, as you know, could kill you or severely disable you. So it's been 4 months. So I'm super blessed to be out here walking, talking, running with my dog, enjoying Mother Nature. It's really a long story. I'm going to try to keep this short. But about 4 months ago, and through divine intervention, I was with my wife in Sandpoint, Idaho, at a hotel. It was Saturday. We spent Saturday in Sandpoint, and Sunday morning I woke up at the hotel to get my free breakfast. I went down to the hotel breakfast, got some food, and brought it back up to the room, and that's the last thing I remember for about 10 hours. I was conscious during the whole time. I was speaking, but I have no memory of any of this. My wife told me that I laid down on the bed and started complaining that I don't feel well. And then I started repeating to myself, something's wrong, something's really, really wrong. Just repeating it after, just kept repeating it. My wife's like, should I get help? And I said yes. So she went down to the front desk and they notified EMS. Luckily for me, I looked up Sandpoint, Idaho. There was a fire station probably 2 miles away. EMS got there really fast. My wife was saying that I kept repeating answers to the paramedics. I just kept repeating the same answers. And apparently the fireman or the paramedic said, do you realize that you've told us this 20 times? And I didn't. I also complained that I was feeling numb on my left side. So they took me, thank God, that there was a small ER department in Sandpoint, Idaho. They took me to the ER department, which would have only been a few miles away on a Sunday morning, and they did a CT scan and found that I was having a stroke, a major stroke. I did a Zoom meeting with a neurologist at Sacred Heart Hospital, which is in Spokane, Washington. I have no memory of any of this. And the neurologist told me that we could do a blood clot busting medicine, which may break the blood clot up, but it comes with risks of bleeding. And I went ahead and gave the doctors the green light to do the blood clot busting medicine. And through an act of God again, the blood clot busting medicine worked. I've been told that it doesn't have a very good success rate. So the blood clot busting medicine worked, and they put me on a helicopter and helicoptered me to Sacred Heart Hospital in Spokane. I have no memory of any of this. They took me to Sacred Heart Hospital, and about 10 hours later I come to in the ICU, and a nurse had written a note saying, you're in Spokane, you had a stroke. That's the first memory I have. But like I said, I was awake during this whole time talking to people. I had become partially blind in my upper left quadrant. And I had no short-term memory. So the origin story on this is I just turned 50 years old. And I retired from the federal government. I had gone into federal law enforcement at the age of 26 so I could have an early retirement in that law enforcement job. And I retired as soon as I turned 50. 3 months later, I had a stroke. Now you got to understand, when you're in federal law enforcement, every year, at least the position I held, which was a criminal investigator, a special agent, you have to get a physical, and that includes an EKG, blood testing, which includes cholesterol. You see a doctor. I've always come up good. I've never had bad cholesterol numbers, bad blood pressure, bad EKG. You know, I have a healthy weight. I exercise, I run. I probably exercise too much, and yeah, so this just came out of the blue. I have no idea why this happened, and neither did the doctors in Spokane, the team of doctors. 50-year-old male, no risk factors, doesn't smoke. Sure, I have a few beers every now and then. He's not obese. Why is somebody like him having a stroke? Now, having said that, that blood clot busting medicine saved me. And if I had been by myself, it would be much worse. I'd probably be dead. And the divine intervention part of this is 12 hours later that morning. I mean, I was going to take my wife back to Spokane. She was going to hang out with her family. And me and my dog Gracie were going on a week-long solo camping trip throughout Montana in remote locations with no services or no help. So if it was 12 hours later, I would be dead right now. So once again, the Lord was watching over me and had sent some guardian angels. There in the ICU, the nurses were just, I could just tell by the way they were reacting, they were just ecstatic. And I could hear other patients in the ICU. This is the neuro section of the ICU. I could hear just bad stuff. It was kind of like a house of horrors. People that can't speak, people that can't move, people that can't chew their own food. And the nurse basically told me it's nice for them to get a win once in a while. And I was a win because they see so much devastation and disability. The doctors were asking me, why is this guy here? He shouldn't be here. Why is he having a stroke? And they basically were trying to figure that out. So a couple days later in the ICU, they do a ultrasound of my chest, my heart, and they discover that I have something that's called a patent foramen ovale. It's basically a flap, a hole between the left side of your heart and the right side of your heart. And we all have this hole when we're in the womb. And what happens is this hole allows the placenta fluid to transfer back and forth between both sides of the heart, which gives you oxygenated blood. And once you're born, you start breathing through your lungs, and that hole should seal itself and grow together. Well, mine didn't seal itself. So they theorized that a blood clot could have been formed on the right side of my heart, gets passed through the left side of the heart, and the left side of the heart pumps oxygenated blood directly to the brain. And so they think that is what caused this stroke. So they're like, when you get back to the Vancouver, Washington area, where I was living, I'm gonna have to do some follow-up on this and do what's called a heart rate study to make sure I don't have AFib of the heart. I've never had problems with my heart. So luckily, through another act of God, I had a friend. I don't even have a family doctor. I'm in such good help. I have a friend who has connections at the one of the local medical hospitals, and he got me hooked up with a really good doctor, and we started this heart rate test to determine if I had AFib. 30 days I had to wear this heart rate monitor, which was another 30 days of just fear. I was living in fear that I would have another stroke. Get down off this. Yeah, I was in fear that I was gonna have another stroke, which, man, I thought I was taking care of myself. They did do an MRI there in Spokane, but the problem is once you get this blood clot busting medicine, it kind of milky whites the image of your brain. And so they said you need to have another MRI just to confirm, just to make sure we're getting this right. But they did say on the MRI that they took in Spokane, it looks like I had another stroke, or what they call a mini stroke, or a TIA, trans ischemic attack. And then I realized, yes, you're right, I did have a mini stroke. Approximately 2 years ago, I was flying to Austin, Texas for work. I had landed in Denver, I got a connecting flight, and we were taking off to Austin. And as we were ascending, gaining elevation, the left side of my jaw, my mouth just felt completely weird. I could not talk. My tongue would not move. I couldn't speak. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm having a stroke. They're gonna have to emergency land this plane. I start tapping the elbow of the gentleman in the passenger seat sitting next to me. This passenger looks at me. He could probably see the terror in my eyes. I see the terror in his eyes. And all of a sudden, boom, I could speak. Everything was fine. I said, man, I thought I was having a stroke. And I played it off as the altitude change, pressure cabin change. I thought that's what was happening. And so I didn't go to the doctor. I should have landed and went immediately to an emergency department in Austin. And if you're in this situation, it's called be fast for stroke. Balance. Gosh, what's E? That's the other thing I'm dealing with is memory issues. Luckily, my vision has returned. I still have a little slight vision issue, but I'm obviously cleared to drive and start living life again. But it's balance, your face drooping, how you're acting, almost if you're acting drunk, if somebody's acting drunk. Look it up, be fast. And T stands for time. Man, you gotta get to the ER as quickly as possible. Call 911 and get to the ER, because the longer you wait, the more brain damage you're gonna occur, or death, of course. So I'm gonna put a link to the Be Fast website so you can figure out and teach up about yourself for you, your family members, or other people. So back to this Austin, Texas trip, I'm like, why would I be having a stroke? I'm 50 years old. I felt I was bulletproof, and I wasn't bulletproof. So that's just a learning lesson from me. When I got the CT scan in Sandpoint, Idaho, they gave me a contrast dye, and that basically, I had an allergic reaction of it. My hands, my skin literally melted off of me as if it was a chemical burn. So I had to go through that whole process of basically my skin melting off of me. It was very disgusting. And yeah, that was another thing I had to go through. Meanwhile, I'm waiting for this heart rate study to be completed, and every little ache, every little pain, every little weird thing, every little headache, is it another stroke that's hitting me? I would wake up in the middle of the night and your arm would be asleep. You know, that numb feeling. Is it a stroke? I basically had lived in just terror for a long time, hypervigilance, and you know, I know they had me on a baby aspirin, they put me on a statin. I'm doing everything that the doctors tell me, but I still just had this fear. Gracie's super happy that I'm still alive, and now I can take her out for adventures. This is my first adventure, solo adventure out without her, without anybody. So like I said, I've been living in fear. There's a fear of another stroke. So I had to get through that mentally, and it's something I still battle. I had other mental health issues with it. I was very angry. I thought I've done everything to take care of myself, and I retired, and here I am about to go live this great life I've planned for this. I've tried to take care of my body, and I didn't even make it. I almost died before I even got my full pension check from the OPM, which is the federal government's human resources. And it's been really hard. It's been really hard to get through. My body, I'm losing muscle mass in my legs for sure because I've been inactive, but that's going to change now. So I returned to the Vancouver, Washington area after spending a week at the hospital in Sacred Heart there in Spokane. And by the way, that was an excellent. I thought I got just unbelievable care there. I've had no health problems in my life, but man, that was a top-notch care that I got. And I came home, and then I started working with the team of doctors here. Just my family doctor that my buddy got me, and then I have a cardiologist and a neurologist. So I had gone back to see the neurologist 5 or 6 weeks after returning home, as instructed by the doctors there in Spokane, just to make sure they're not missing anything. And the neurologist was just amazed at how well my brain has been healing in that time period. In fact, he said he had to show it to another neurologist. But you got to understand, I'm doing everything I can to take care of myself. I'm doubling down on nutrition. I've been able to get out and exercise during this time period. The caveat is I need to be close to EMS, and I should have somebody else with me. So I was kind of restricted to other people, but I've been walking, I've been hiking, I've been a little bit of running. I've been carrying a 30-pound pack, so I'm not your normal stroke victim. And then I was doubling down on everything that's healthy for my body and my brain as far as nutrition. And I think that's helped. I think being in good shape, even though, hey, I shouldn't be having a stroke because I'm in good shape, but the fact that I was in such good shape, it probably really helped my recovery and or maybe saved me. I don't know. But listen, you need to get yourself into shape. If you're not in shape, start doing anything. Walk, run, cut some calories, drop weight, just anything. Be active. You got to start getting yourself in shape. And if you have a problem like I did, not a problem, that's not a problem. That's a disaster, man. A problem is like if you break your ankle, that's a problem. If you have a serious medical emergency, man, you need to have your body prepped for that. And just another reason to train and be physically fit. Upon returning home, I got a neuro-ophthalmologist to start looking at my eyes. And it's really not my eye that's the problem, it's my brain. And so basically I was having I don't even know how to describe it, like pixelation, a blind spot over here, my upper left. And I also I'm having short-term memory kind of stuff. So when I was there in the emergency room at Spokane, they asked me if I'd known I had just retired from work. And I said, no, I had no idea. And I was like, are you serious? I'm retired? Like, you're not joking. And then I asked, my next question was, did I have a retirement party? And so that kind of goes to show you where it affected my brain, the brain where this stroke occurred, where this blood clot blocked it up and stopped getting oxygenated blood to. It was memory and vision. And luckily my vision started returning quickly, as far as not being blind, because I was blind at one point is what they told me, at least over here. And you know, I'm still dealing with memory issues here even 4 months later. It's kind of frustrating. But we'll get through it. We'll just keep going. This has been, like I said, a major challenge for me. It's just I just got sucker punched, man. I just got ambushed, and so I have to keep going. It's been hard times. I haven't wanted to make this video because it's just been kind of an emotional disaster, a physical disaster, and I wanted to kind of process this so I could talk about it. And if you're going through something right now, whether it's a health challenge or something else, man, you just got to have hope. You got to have faith and just keep going, keep moving, do whatever you can to keep moving. So upon returning to Vancouver here, I started going to occupational therapy, really just to help with my balance. I was having balance issues, nausea, fatigue was horrible. Basically felt like I was walking around with altitude sickness the whole time. To be quite honest with you, like I said, during these dark moments, these dark times, I didn't think I'd ever be able to drive again. I didn't think I'd be able to run again. And meanwhile, here I am walking, talking. I've learned that I've just have to like thank the Lord that he took care of me and kept me safe, and I'm blessed. And like the doctors basically said there in Spokane, I'm a mystery, but I'm also a miracle as far as the outcome of this. So I did physical therapy, or occupational therapy is what they called it, and it really helped. It gave me something to do at least twice a week. I'd go in person, and then I would have visual exercises I would do daily. It gave me something to work on, to work towards. So it was really, really good for me. And eventually I got out of occupational therapy. They're just like, dude, you're good to go, man. Like you're like the Michael Jordan in here as far as the patients we see. I mean, because I had strong legs, good balance, all that kind of stuff. It was my brain that was affected. So I still have a problem though. I got this hole in my heart right here. And what they say is 20% of the population has a hole in the heart. So I've had this hole in my heart for 50 years. And I didn't have any problems till I was basically 49. So they say it's not a problem until it becomes a problem. So the question would be, why am I having blood clotting issues? I don't know. I think it has something to do with the whole COVID disease, or maybe the COVID vaccine. I did do a J&J shot because I was required to. Joe Biden made an executive order to all federal employees needed to get a shot at the time. I felt like I didn't need it because I was a super healthy person. And I thought, if I catch COVID, I'm going to survive it. So I ended up going with the J&J shot because it's a one-shot deal, and let's just get it done, check that box. And you can look this up. The J&J shot has been pulled from the market due to some issues that it was having with people that were taking it. So I don't know. I started having problems since COVID. So it could be the shot, it could be the disease, it could be the combination of such. We'll never know. I just wish I wasn't forced to take that job to get my retirement. And later on, the Supreme Court, or the courts, not the Supreme Court, a court ruled that that executive order was illegal and had been rescinded. So I don't think I should have been put in that position. But nonetheless, here we are, and I have to deal with it. So I did the heart rate study, and I don't have AFib. And so they had to do a procedure where they sent a camera down my throat. So they put me under anesthesia and sent a camera down my throat, and they imaged this heart just to confirm the size of this flap or hole, and would it take a patch. So there's a surgical fix for this hole if you hit all the requirements. And so one of the requirements is, does this hole, is it structurally sound to take a double-sided pouch? It's almost like two umbrellas back to forth, and they'll place that between the center of the heart, and it'll close up this hole, or flap, as the cardiologist corrects you. It's a flap and not a hole. And so I went under, they sent a camera down my throat, and they do a bubble test where they send bubbles through to confirm that this is what's happening. So yes, I have bubbles that transfer from left to right, or right to left, and my hole is structurally sound for this patch. So I was qualifying for the surgery, and the fact that I don't have AFib and I'm young and I'm healthy makes me a candidate for the surgery. Is that your friend? Is that your friend? Hey, say hi. 2 weeks ago today, I had a heart surgery in Vancouver, Washington. I didn't really know what I was walking into. I'm probably going to do another video about the actual heart surgery. But it's not as bad as it sounds. They don't have to crack your chest open. they send a couple catheters up your legs to deploy this patch. So I've been cleared from the doctor to resume all activity. So I am out here now. This is the first time I've been alone with my dog out in the wild. I'm trying to keep it safe right now. I'm basically in an area where there's lots of other people walking their dogs. This is a big dog area, off-leash dog area, and I have cell phone coverage, and I'm probably 15 miles away from Portland, which has a bunch of hospitals. So going forward, this channel is about doing outdoor activities, kind of like running, hiking, camping, which is what I'm going to keep doing. But I need to rebuild myself. I have to come back, the anatomy of a comeback. So everybody loves a good comeback story. So right now, my focus, I'm retired. My new job is to rebuild Matt, make Matt great again. And the election's coming up, but I just use that as a joke, make Matt great again. So that's gonna be part of this video, part of this channel. Exercising, health, trying to rebuild myself. So hopefully you like that kind of stuff, and if not, it's not your deal, that's cool. But I kind of want to retire. I'd planned to retire and go out and do all these outdoor adventures and film them and just have fun and have all these memories. So I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to get my health and my physical capabilities back. I've been doing a lot of, as you can see, I've done a lot of running, trail running, long distance kind of stuff, like 50K, 50 miler. I've attempted a 100 miler. I made it to mile 98. Some rookie mistakes on there why I didn't make it to 100 miles, but I got my start into endurance sports through Spartan Race. Spartan is a trail running race that has a bunch of obstacles, like a military obstacle course, and it's super tough. You got to be really a multi-dimensional athlete. You got to have endurance, you got to have strength, you got to be able to jump, balance, carry heavy stuff, and you really got to be tough mentally, because you're gonna fail these obstacles, and when you do, they require you to do 30 burpees as a penalty. So I'm really gonna try to get back into Spartan race style training. I hadn't been planning on doing any races. I just wanted to go out and run 10 to 15 miles out in the wilderness, out in the woods with my dog. But now I want to do some races, just because there'll be other people there in the event of some type of emergency. I'll get care, or at least they could find my body. And that's going to be a whole nother video, like what am I going to do for emergency services or GPS tracking when I'm out. And I'm also worried about my dog. Like if I die out in the wilderness, the last thought I want to have is that my dog won't be found. So we're going to talk about that kind of stuff too, but we're going to get back into racing, trail races and obstacle course races. Oh. Okay, up, good girl. Speaking of obstacle course training, here's an obstacle right here, getting up this muddy bank. We're gonna start it right now without falling. Oh, good girl. Good girl. All right, let's go this way, bud. This way. Hike, hike. Hike, hike. So I was unconscious that whole time from Sandpoint, Idaho till the time I awakened in the ICU. It was about 10 hours. I remember seeing my mom and sister there thinking, how are they here? It's like a 6-hour drive to get to Spokane. How are they here? I don't understand. And so I was kind of in another realm, even though I was conscious and talking. I had created, they call it confabulation. I had created a story in my mind that I was wandering the streets of Sandpoint, just stumbling about with my dog, and people are like, get away from that guy, he's drunk, he's on drugs. And then somebody finally came up to me and said, no, he needs help. I think something's wrong with him. And so they came up to me and I said, yeah, I need help. And the guy's like, he's having a medical emergency. This didn't happen. My brain was creating this story. This is where I thought I was at the time. And they pulled a pickup truck and they put me in the back of the pickup truck with my dog and drove to the hospital. That didn't happen. So it's just so weird. I was like in another realm, even though I was awake and talking to people, but I wasn't there. So whatever that is, I truly believe that God had sent me guardian angels on many levels. The fact that I wasn't out alone by myself, the fact that I was in a small town where I could get quick EMS help, the fact that I was with my wife, just the fact that that blood clot medicine worked. And it was just so interesting about, well, it was Easter Sunday at the service I go to. They were giving out these beautiful painted rocks with a cross on it, and so I grabbed one, and then they had little cards with Bible verses, and mine was Psalm 16:2. The Lord is my rock, he's my protection, he's my shield, he's my safety. And I truly believe that I was being protected. I had protection from God. So, and I don't know if you're religious or not, but you know, you have a near-death experience that's going to really make you think about your creator, the creator. So I definitely am thankful that I had guardian angels, and so is my family and friends. So and now I want to just go out and do some cool stuff here and show that, hey man, you might have these challenges, these tragedies, but you know, you just get up and you keep fighting every morning. You can have a good attitude. And listen, I have not had a good attitude the entire time. Like I said, I have been fighting some mental demons, but you just keep fighting. So going forward, this video, this channel is going to be still do outdoor adventure, but it's going to be focused on getting strong, getting fast, getting healthy, and just trying to live life, man, and get out of the matrix. That was my whole point at retiring at the age of 50, was to escape the matrix. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this doesn't bore you. If you have any questions, you know, put it down in the comment. I'm gonna put this in the link or in the description about stroke awareness, dude. It could happen to anybody. I've been doing a lot of research. There's a lot of younger people that have strokes, people that are in great shape, you know, professional athletes, Olympic athletes, college athletes. Usually it's a PFO, but man, if you're not in good shape right now, start cleaning up yourself, you know, work on your diet, work on your exercise, because your life's going to depend upon it one day. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to get out there and escape the matrix yourself. Okay.